Alrighty, everybody, welcome to today's stream. I really want to work on a road. I wanted to work on it last night. It was too laggy on the server last night on my end because a lot of people were using the internet. So we're gonna be doing it today. So I've changed up the road design. If you remember, this kind of swooped on over and went diagonally. It didn't look very good. I'm gonna keep my road straight because I think that'll look better. Welcome in, Shield. How are you doing today? What have you gotten up to today? Any projects? Alright, and I got tons of black concrete, so that's nice. And I've changed the design, so I'm using, let me grab, yeah, I might just grab all my stone. We're gonna be using shroom lights, and if I can find my shrooms, there we go. I don't have a lot of them, but I have a pretty renewable source of shroom lights. Let's go ahead and put back a little bit of the stone. I don't need that much stone. Put back, like, that should be enough. Really, I need it more for other parts. For if I can find my yellow carpets. We'll go ahead and leave that empty there. It's almost nighttime. Sleep real quick. So we're going to be building roads. Working at the moment, plenty of time to listen in. Nice, nice. Do you work from home, or are you working from home because of the snow? Because I know Denalid works like he has a remote job, but I don't know about anyone else. I actually don't know anyone else's vocation. Interestingly enough. Again, I feel like I get too personal sometimes. Not that I'm necessarily trying to. I'm a curious guy. What can I say? Yeah, this is correct. Share as much as you'd like to. You don't have to share anything if I know some people are more weary of sharing personal information online. Yeah, I've lost work on my end because I work at a law library, so if it's closed, I don't work, which is unfortunate. And I've lost 3 days to the snowstorm, which, I mean, is fine. I'm the kind of person who doesn't really value money that much, so I don't care. But also, I need money, so I kind of need to care. But it happens. What can I really do? Let's get all options here. Boom. I normally work on site, home today from snow. Nice. What do you do? Like, what is your job? I don't actually know. Alright, so I want to go, I think I want to, yeah, go here, and then on this one, turn into this. So we're going to actually tear this away. In fact, should I go up a little bit? You know, as if it's like climbing a little bit up. Maybe I do that. ITVOIP. I know what IT is. Oh, phone systems. Thank you for that. I was like, I do not know what the other one is. Phone systems. Very nice. All right. What's your favorite part about working, like, about your job in general? I don't know much about, like, what goes into that kind of a workload. Welcome in, Steven. Thank you for making a stream. How you doing today? How you doing? What have you got? Once again, I gotta phrase this right. What have you been up to? What have you gotten today? It sounds so like pointing finger. Voice over IP. Ah, very nice. You might need to do IP for me as well, because I know IP as intellectual property. I do not know what IP. Oh, unless an IP address. That probably is what it relates to, but I do not actually know what IP stands for. So 2 over here. Bop. Bop. Internet protocol. Oh. On lunch break a little. Saw you were live, so I wanted to come and say hey. Well, appreciate that. Currently building a road right now. I need to figure out how to turn. Let's see. The easiest way. Let's get rid of this. The easiest way to do this is probably figure out, because I know probably want it to be on the edge here. It's 15 blocks long, so if we go leave this edge away, go 1 2 3 4 5 6, bop, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So that's 13, 14, 15. So we want the next section of road to begin right here. And I do think I want to raise the road up a block. At least a block for a good, yeah, I think a block should be interesting. That way it's a little bit easier there and not as steep. Like the variety of, whoa, I've never had this issue. I'm struggling to keep up with chat right now. I like the variety of my work, some customer interactions, but also plenty of time on the back end. Ooh, very nice. Okay, so Internet Protocol is what IP actually stands for. The more you know. That's interesting. Let's go ahead and do that. All right. This is the tricky part. So we're not going there. We know that it's going this way. And so we need, if it's, you work in computer science field, so the VoIP. I'm just gonna say the VoIP. The VoIP was speaking my language. Nice. I feel like so many, like, Minecraft, or just, I mean, in general, like, gaming people are also IT people, which is always really funny. Granted, originally I was planning on going into video game design, so I'm not too far off of it. The only issue is I did not like working with computers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I think here is the middle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, yeah. So if we say this is where that's going to be, which also makes this nice, because then I don't have to worry about the line being there. And we do 2 here. We get rid of that line. Let's see. That is how everyone says it. Oh, VoIP, nice. Okay, good. Glad I'm learning the lingo. All right, let's start filling in. Let's go ahead and just fill this all in with black concrete powder, and then we'll remove blocks as necessary. I'm trying to think of how a road normally works. They don't normally turn this square, but unfortunately, circular turning is also not easy. So that's always a challenge. Welcome into Nollet. How you doing? I see you're AFK currently. So tell me about my channel. Well, primarily Minecraft YouTuber. Minecraft YouTuber that serves God over here, as well as the rest of the fellow Craftians. Let's go ahead and turn chunks off. And yeah, so we're currently on Fellowcraft right now with pretty much everyone that's in chat right now is also on Fellowcraft. Actually, I think I want to move this up a block and have that go all the way to that edge. So 1, 2. Would this make sense doing that? Or do we also, maybe this makes sense? Actually, yeah, maybe that makes sense. Little L. Does the L make sense? I think the L makes sense. But yeah, mainly Minecraft channel. I did do Elden Ring for like a few streams, and then I got to a breaking point. So then I tried to refund it, but I had played it for 17 hours already, so that didn't go through. So I got it again. But this time I said, well, fine, then I'm going to make it more manageable for me, and I modded it so that way the penalty for death would not be as great, and I could enjoy it a little bit more, which has actually worked. I do enjoy it slightly more now. I'm still like getting other mods to equally aid in that journey. But yeah, okay. Now I gotta get rid of all this because this is changing. Yeah, so the reason I'm removing this, originally I had it turning here like this bend. It basically is exactly where it was turning, and then it basically just went diagonally. Didn't look very good. I think it looks best when it's just straight, and right now I'm not good enough at, or confident enough in my building skills to be able to turn this road and make it look good. So instead, we're going to keep it straight and focus on just getting that, and then I kind of want to focus on a big turn here, like right about here. I want to turn it so that way it goes straight right about here, and possibly linking up this road with this road at some point. I know it doesn't really go anywhere, but I don't know what Val and Virgo's plan is for this road, but that could be kind of fun to connect up our bases via a road. Very cool. I appreciate the raids you've given me. Maybe one day I can return the favor if you're ever streaming late evening. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. Always love raiding a fellow Minecrafter. Alright, so now it's just kind of filling this in. And then 1, 2, pop, pop, pop. And then the reason I've swapped over to the yellow carpets originally, and I think I still have it over here, originally I had yellow concrete, but I needed to get lights in, so if I was going to have a light every once in a while, rather than having a random carpet, I said I might as well just have the whole thing be carpets. And so that's kind of what we got going right here. Get up there. No! Okay, that's fine. Let's get up here. Get rid of this little straggler, because we're going to redesign the road and how it meets the river. Oh, I'm surprised I got that one. I am impressed with how fast the shovel can break dirt. We'll grab that over there. Ugh. Okay, and let's deal with that later. And we'll also worry about how this is going to go later. But we can just go ahead and do this. So we're going to boop, 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 boop. And then the lights, of course, keep the road itself fully lit, so you don't have to worry about mobs at all, which is really nice. Because that would be not good. I need to live streaming. I've maybe live streamed for, ooh, that's kind of hard. I kind of started doing YouTube content at least like, yeah, about 6 years ago, YouTube and stuff. But then maybe 4 years ago, I did streaming, and then it's been unfortunately a lot very flip-floppy, whether or not I'm live streaming or making YouTube videos. So it really depends on my schedule and how much time I have. I stopped live streaming about all of last year, and then as of this year, I said, why don't I try doing it again? And this time, I think my strategy is, honestly, I'm going to try actually streaming less. I think that was my issue. I streamed way too much, and it caused me to get, lose motivation and burn out from live streaming itself. Because, yeah, being a small streamer is honestly pretty difficult. You know what I mean? Like, being a big streamer, I don't know, they're two different difficulties with both of them. I feel like right in the middle is, like, the sweet spot of just, like, you want to be well-known enough that you get the viewers. Now, not necessarily that's what I'm chasing. This is a hobby for me, so I don't particularly care about the viewers. But for a live stream, it certainly is helpful. But like as a medium level live streamer, you'd have enough viewers that you'd be able to get a consistent flow, and you know what I mean. But not so many that you get a bunch of like the really what I'm gonna call the screechers and the trolls, you know what I mean? All of those people that come into the streams that make it difficult to be a live streamer. So like you don't have those as a middle level, or not very often, whereas when you're bigger, you've got a lot of people that are just, and also chat is very hard to keep up with because there's so much going on. So there's like the pros and cons of being like big and small. And then of course small is, now you have to, talk to usually an audience of no one, though today is a pretty good audience. So that could be always challenging, but it's kind of fun to do either way. As I said, it's a hobby. I enjoy doing it. But yeah, 6 years. Yeah, it's crazy to think about that I have been doing this for 6 years, and only recently, like literally a week ago, I just learned that I was using my microphone incorrectly. Because I've been using it talking into the top of the microphone, but it's supposed to be talked through the side. And so that was good to figure out and fix. Really funny that I've been doing that. And it's not, the irony, I think I got pretty lucky where my audio quality was never like so bad, like noticeably bad. It was always just like that slight little bit of muffled, it's, if you didn't know any better, you wouldn't know that I was using the microphone incorrectly. But now that you know, and you've heard in, if you go into my old videos, actually, if you watch my latest episode, the beginning of it is me using my microphone how I have been for the last 6 years. And then the last few clips are me using the new method, the correct way to use the microphone. And there's a noticeable difference. Now, the one thing that I'm still trying to figure out, which I may not have a solution for, or like really a fix for this. Let's have those next to each other. Actually, let's do this. This would make the most sense. And then I need stone. Just grab. We need a lot more stone, actually. Get rid of that. Hey, oi. Stop that. But yeah, like, oof, I lost my train of thought. Grab another stone shulker box, plop that guy down there, grab, that's too much. I need a little bit, but I also, well, should I just stone it out first? Because I know where I'm going. I should probably just stone first. Get the pathway. Yeah, let's pathway it first, and then, wrong buttons, there we go. Because that'll be easier. What was this? Oh, this was the carpets. And then that should be there. You're good at keeping up dialogue, like commentating on what you're doing and stuff. That's a great skill as a small content creator, especially when chat isn't super busy. Yeah. Granted, I'm actually not super great at it. I think I'm doing pretty good right now. It depends on the day. Some days I'm more chatty than others. I'm an introvert at heart in general. So it is a lot more difficult to know what to talk about, but sometimes it just kind of comes and goes. Depends. The flow is here or there, but I normally can get like a good good 2 hours in on average for a stream. Sometimes an hour and a half, depending on how I'm feeling and how productive I am that day. Rose, I'm an introvert, but I totally get it. I find it easier to live stream than it is to talk to other people. I find it easier to like talk at people than it is to talk with them. So like, man, I love public speaking, which is crazy for an introvert to be that way. But I love public speaking because I don't have to worry about anyone interrupting me. I can say everything that's on my mind and just talk. I'm fine with that. But when you start adding in having to, interact with people in a way like, okay, well now I'm talking, now I gotta let you talk. And then of course in my head, I'm also very analytical. So I'm like analyzing like, okay, is this the right amount of stuff I should be sharing for this story? And like, I'm basically trying to like mathematically figure out how to have a conversation with somebody when I'm trying to talk with somebody. When it's I prefer one-on-ones with people. Like I don't really like hanging out with large groups because I tend to be very quiet and reserved in the back, mainly because I'm like, I've had like 10 things to say. I just haven't had a moment to actually butt in to say those things, and now it's too late. And I get stuck in that kind of field for too long. But hey, it is what it is. But like live streaming, I get to blab as long as I want with occasional commentary. It's wonderful. Listen, I save up all my energy for stream and recharge after that. I know, bro. That's what I'm saying. Get a nice, good stream in there. If I want to go longer, then I pop a Coke and we're good. Coca-Cola, just to be clear. Welcome in, Jordan. How you doing today? What have you been up to today? And so yeah, it's pretty chill. I might need to bump this up by another block, honestly. Let's see here. After I fill this in, I'm gonna clear my inventory, chop down all these trees to about here. And once we line up with this chunk here, we're gonna go across. And I may bump up the road one more. We're gonna have kind of a natural bridge sort of thing, like a reinforced natural bridge here, where it's gonna be kind of that vibe. So yeah, it's gonna be pretty epic. I think it's gonna come out really cool, because it's gonna be, we're gonna have it float, and then we'll have just a stone kind of archway with probably a grate in it to kind of allow for like water to pass through, so that way it's not quite a bridge. Not that I didn't want to build a bridge, it's just I didn't want to build a diagonal bridge. I had an idea for what to do for it, but I was not happy with the way the road looked, because when things are diagonal, they get a lot smaller. And so even though the dimensions were the exact same as this in terms of length, like it was the same, it still looked way tinier, and I didn't really like that. And so when it curved, it didn't look very good. So here we are. We're rebuilding. We're changing our designs, and I think this will be a little bit better. It cuts off the this here, and I'm thinking one thing I realized that I could actually add to this area to add a little bit more life and make it so I don't have to build as many forests and as many trees is to have pretty long strips of electrical cords. What do you call those? Like not, I mean, and telephone poles, but like all of those kind of things, or the red and white towers that you see all over the place. Like building things like that in this area would probably make it come to life a lot more. Honestly, when I had power lines, thank you, yes, those things, power lines. Need to get some power lines in here. And at least doing them straight isn't too bad. Pretty chill process. Just got some Moe's. Bro, it looks so good. Thank you. I have never had Moe's. I'm assuming you mean the restaurant Moe's. I've never had Moe's before. Is it good? I don't actually even know what food they sell. But yeah, honestly, when I had built the first building, which would have been this one here for the iron farm, I actually wasn't like 100% sure on the whole scientific theme. I was like, man, I mean, yeah, it doesn't look bad, even with all the grime and everything. And then I built the environment around it, and I was like, okay, now I'm seeing my vision. You know, I was second guessing myself, but now I see the vision, and I'm liking it a lot. The parking lots help a lot, bring it together, and I think the texturing around, definitely getting rid of the sand was a good call, and replacing it with something just not sand, because I'm using the sand as grime. So it you know, and of course it's very bright on bright, so it was a very good contrast. But yeah, the food place, yes, the food place. They got quesadillas, burritos, and stuff. Ooh, nice. So almost like Tex-Mex is kind of what it's sounding like, maybe. I'm not 100% sure. I'm not a food guy, so I don't really know my foods. But yeah, that sounds kind of good. Yeah, we're just kind of getting rid of trees here, and then we'll build this road in here and stuff. Okay, so it is kind of like Tex-Mex. Nice. Okay, we're just gonna break through. Oh, I'm a little off. There we go. All right, so would it be easier to do with the trunk borders? Probably, because we need all the trees here removed. So yeah, let's just keep the trunk borders on, and any trees inside of this trunk border need to go away. I think I'm gonna raise up the road by a block again, just to make a clearing, or like just to pass through this area. I think will be necessary. Granted, I might as well remove all the trees in the area, because I plan to, ideally, in a perfect world, I'd rebuild the entire forest, making custom trees and stuff. I'm not very happy with my custom trees. I'm gonna be real with you. I'm not happy with them. They could be a lot better, and they just aren't right now. And it's making it difficult for me to want to build more of them, because it's one of those situations where you know. I like analogies, so I'm trying to think of a good analogy, but I can't think of one. But just like knowing that it's not the best, and knowing that you're probably gonna tear them down or something like that to redo them. And so like I don't want to go through that, you know, tearing everything down again, because I know I'm not happy with it now. But building a bunch more of them, I probably wouldn't tear it down, because I can be kind of lazy sometimes. So yes. Now we get to move forward. They're still better than mine. Yeah. Well, they're not great though. They that's what I like. I feel like they're the kind of trees that follow a formula. You know, like once again, very analytical, mathematical. So like they follow the formula of how a custom tree should be built, right? They're following all of the steps that I've watched from Whip videos and all of that kind of stuff. The problem is that trees really shouldn't be flowing that way. They're very unique, and each tree is different from one another. You can't really copy and paste the same tree, because it would be obvious, unless that's what you're going for, which in this case isn't. And so like you know, as much as you're freehanding it, there still needs to be even more freehanding to it, because you can't, you know, use the same strategy for every tree necessarily. Each tree is unique and different from the other trees, that you kind of have to just build each one of them individually without a necessary template. And then if you have a big enough one, then you can start moving on to stuff. I have not, and I'm not particularly interested in Hytale. Unfortunately, and I know it's not, but the way, just looking at other content creators play it, it just looks like a knockoff Minecraft to me, and I'm not gonna lie, I would much rather play Minecraft. And like visually for me, it's difficult for me to see past knockoff Minecraft, even though I know it's its own unique game, and yeah, it's a sandbox voxel game, but just for me, I'd rather play Minecraft. I'm not a huge fan of like the other stylization choices that they made with like the way the characters look. Visually, it's not appealing to me to play, and I think that would be very difficult for me to enjoy the game in any other way than feel like, yeah, I'm playing a Minecraft knockoff. Even though it's not, it just feels that way and it looks that way to me. But not my kind of game on that market. In terms of style of gameplay, I probably would enjoy it because it is very similar to Minecraft, and it does have like aspects of it that that Minecraft doesn't have that we wish we could have. Like, for example, being able to destroy a tree in one shot. You know what I mean? That would be nice to have. But I mean, there's also mods for that, and even Vanilla Tweaks has a data pack which does that as well. But honestly, this isn't a big deal. I like digging in this game. It's satisfying, except Endstone, because it doesn't insta-mine. But I think we're working towards a solution for that. Because I know you haven't been here, seen any of the content before. I've done an end project, and I built these giant rings in the end, and I plan to get rid of the entire end island. So that means digging out the entire end island. I know I could have used TNT, but I didn't really want to build the rings without the security of the land. So I decided to build the rings first. And I also, as I said, I enjoy the digging process, so I wasn't bothered by digging. But that means I now have the entire end island to dig out. I want to try Hytale, but I don't want to interrupt my current project, lol. That's the other thing. I kind of got sucked into Elden Ring like that, where I was like, now I'm playing all this Elden Ring and not working on this. Oh, what? Lol. Me terraforming. Also, not very good terraforming. Yeah, not the best. But then again, this is the terrain I'm working with here. What am I supposed to do with this? Mojang, get yourself together, please. Okay, let's see. It's nice to have these dissipating, because I kind of need to. Let's turn this off. We kind of have our path set for us, so now we know roughly where we want to go forward. Yeah, I'm definitely going to want to go up a block, because we're already going to run into this. Or do I go? Yeah, let's bring it out to here and then go up on this block. I think would be good. I tried a pretty cool game, but it legit feels like I'm playing a modded Minecraft. It's a strange feeling. Yeah. And that's going to be the general challenge. Honestly, any game that has voxel style visuals is going to be having a hard time, because everyone is going to look at it and view it through the lens of Minecraft, and it's almost impossible to have people not do that because of how I have no shulker box for that. Interesting. Okay, well, we can throw those in there. We can move over to here, and then we need this one. Bop. And then I have one specifically for oak saplings, because I have so many of them. And then I need apples. Wait, apples going to food. Oh, I think it's this one. Hello. Okay. So yeah, if you want to see how much mining I've been doing in the end, I've been mining a little bit. Do I need any of this endstone? No, I'm just a collector. I like having resources. Maybe I'll sell it. Once the end island's gone, it might actually be valuable. You never know. I've heard of other content creators say that it's really, you really have to treat it as a different game. Its visuals and functionality is similar, but it plays more like Valheim than vanilla Minecraft. That's what I mean. That's why I said, like, I know it's not a Minecraft ripoff. It's just hard for me to see it more than anything but a Minecraft ripoff. Granted, I mean, I've never tried it. I've obviously never played it, but I probably never will because, again, I'd rather play Minecraft. And I know Valheim has combat mechanics, so I'm not sure how much I'll enjoy it on that front. I don't have you guys heard of Enshrouded? Yeah. Bad timing on the ads there. But Enshrouded has been one of those games that I got for Christmas. I bought for myself. It's interesting. My biggest issue with it is I'm like overloaded with quests and stuff, and I'm having a hard time. Do I go up one more? Actually, I might go up another block. Let's go to, let's see here. Let's go to the edge of the chunk, because this is the chunk that we're going to. So let's go, because this is when it's gonna turn. So actually, let's go to right here. This here is good, and go up another block. But yeah, I don't know how to. I don't like it. I don't know. I haven't played it in a while, but you have friends who play it. Not my type of game. Yeah, because it has building in it, which is what really got me. I was like, okay, it literally looks like it's a Minecraft Elden Ring, as I like to call it. And honestly, after playing it, it feels that way. But to be perfectly honest with you, I think I prefer Elden Ring. To know what they dislike. Because the thing is right now I'm overloaded with quests and I don't know what to focus on quest-wise, because there's no, it's like it's essentially an open world with quests that exist in it. So the problem is it's like, oh, you can do whatever you want, but I prefer a slight amount of structure in order to guide me to doing the right things. Like Minecraft, for example, you'd say has no structure. However, I'd argue there actually is structure in play in Minecraft. You just don't realize it because it's just been the normal way you do things. Every Minecraft world starts the same way. You spawn in, you punch a tree, you go through the stuff, you do the things, and then after you do your basic setup, at that point, after you do essentially the tutorial part of Minecraft, of just like punching a tree, getting a crafting table, getting stone, you learn how to do that. You know enough about the game that you basically, that's really all that there is to the game. It's not a very difficult game, and then the rest of it is up to you what you want to do with the game, and then it sets you on your way. And you can, but you still have the linear progression of going through, to the Ender Dragon, and then after the Ender Dragon, it's post boss fight. You're in the end game of Minecraft, and it's just do whatever you want. And at that point, you've learned enough about the game that either that's enough for you and you restart a world, try it with a different seed, try giving yourself challenges if that's your thing, like speedrunners, or other things. Very interesting perspective, so you don't see that kind of sequencing in Hytale. Sorry, you were in an ad during this. I'm talking about Enshrouded, because as I said, I haven't played Hytale, so I wouldn't know specifically about Hytale's gaming and how it works. My issue with Enshrouded in that case is it doesn't really have that. You have the little bit of the tutorial zone, but after I got out of the tutorial area, I didn't know what I needed to do next, and I just felt lost. And then I had all these quests, because you find the NPC people and you put them in your base, and every time you put an NPC in your base, they give you a quest. And then that quest doubles, and then you have the game giving you quests because you find notes, which I think that note system with the quests is really cool. There's a lot of really cool things about it, but with the Flameborn, which is who you are, and all of the NPCs are, with their quests, it gets there's so many, and it's hard to follow. And then you're trying to build stuff because they require beds, and beds require shelter in order to work. And so it's like all of these things, and like there's a lot of cool aspects, but it's so overloaded, and I'm still racking my head trying to figure out how to play the game, because I'm just kind of lost. Yeah, let's go here. I'm kind of lost with the game. I don't really know what to do in the game anymore. Which is really unfortunate, because it is honestly a really cool game and has a lot of potential, but I'm just kind of stuck. And I don't know how to really progress. And so I'm like, oops, I did not mean to take a screenshot. I don't really know how to progress in the game and move on from there. I feel stuck because they're over sensory, too many things going on. And so I'm like, I kind of want to restart the game and intentionally not get other guys so I can focus on what I need to focus on. But the other issue with Enshrouded is it's not truly, and this is the same with Elden Ring, it's not truly an open world. And even like Legend of Zelda and stuff. Because the worlds don't refresh. It's the same world every single time. So even when it comes to building in a base location, you really have the starting area. But then after that, it's quite difficult to move on from there, because when you die, you move back to the area. The nice thing with Enshrouded is when you die, you don't lose your main gear. But you do lose any of the stuff, like the pickup items that you've got on your way. So like if you were looting a bunch of things, you probably lost all of that loot. Unfortunately. Oh, that's the wrong button. So we want to go 15 blocks here. Which, since it's a 16 block chunk, we can just stop shy of the last block, and that should be enough there. I keep pressing the wrong buttons, man. That's the only problem with my mic placement, is it's right in front of those buttons, so I have to like look around it to see what it is. Because I will say, I do not play Minecraft like my hands on a keyboard are not in a way you would want them to be. I am like Mumbo. I press shift with my thumb. And I also press, and that's why like a lot of times in games that have like an interact key, you know what I mean? I always have that interact key. Like in Satisfactory has an interact key, Elden Ring and Shrouded. They all have like, and normally it's E, that's your interact key. Now for me, E is inventory, so I almost always have that as inventory. Ooh, I hear a plow going by. That's good. We needed that. Sorry. Distractions. But that's why I always have Z as my interact key, because I always have my thumb on shift or near shift, so it makes sense to go to Z as my interact key, because my hand is always oriented to the side. So like normally you have your index finger on F, right? That's what they trained you. Well, my index finger is always on S, and I use my middle finger on W and my thumb on shift, and then my ring finger on tab, which is my sprint key. Or I will do, like right now, you probably are going to find this disgusting. My ring finger is on S, and both my index and middle finger, like my index finger is pushing W, but my middle finger is on top of my index finger, pushing W as well. And so that's kind of how I play Minecraft. So if anybody ever comes in here asking for the hand cam, trust me, you don't want to see the hand cam. It's not going to be pretty. You ain't even gonna know what you're looking at, if I'm being honest with you. And so that is how I play Minecraft. My pinky does nothing. It just chills. And guess what? This is where it gets really dumb. Okay? Because if I need to shift and jump up at the same time, I move my mouse hand over and do that, which is why if you've ever noticed me in a video, like I'm shifting in a thingy, and you notice that like anytime I jump, I'm never, like my mouse doesn't move, it's because I'm using my right hand to jump, so I can keep my thumb on shift, because that's just how I play. And so no, I do not type like you've been taught with the two hands. I normally have my right hand flies around the keyboard with occasional assists from my left, but I can type pretty fast. So that's the good news. I'm not a slow typer, but I do not type the way it would be taught. The hand position does not make sense. To be perfectly honest with you, at this point, I don't ask questions anymore. I just go with the flow. Have you considered a mouse with more buttons? Oh, I do. I have 12 buttons on the side of my mouse. So when I, like, for example, in Enshrouded, you can dodge. the number 4, which is where my thumb normally rests on my mouse, is my dodge button. And I tried when I played Elden Ring with keyboard and mouse. That's what I did as well. But I was having a hard time dodging. And I still don't know, because I've been playing ever since I re-downloaded it with a controller, because that's more how it's intended. Even still, I feel like the dodge just isn't working. Like, I'm trying to dodge, and my character stands there and gets whacked. Even though I'm pressing the buttons to dodge, it's not working. And I'm very confused. I don't know what to do. It's not working at all. And so I'm like, because it's either that or I press dodge way too early. And like the enemy is winding up for the attack and I'm dodging. And I'm like, that's not really how that's supposed to go. But hey. Okay, now things are getting a little confusing. But it was a good idea to bring this up to this level because now we're actually here. And I say we just leave it at this level for the bridge orientation. That makes most sense. The question is, right, so the road goes up here and it's going to go across here. The question then does become, where do we go from here? Now, I could see actually the road continuing straight across here because I plan to have a big, now each one of these is 4 chunks. I plan to have one that's going to be 4 chunks long and on both sides, right in the middle, right on this giant hill. So I'll probably have to tear the hill down a little bit. And then I was thinking of putting a parking garage probably over on this side. And then forest to kind of separate these two in the road, which would go through and all of that. So that's kind of my plan, but I could have this go this way as well. And maybe go beside of it and out this way to another facility that could be over here, maybe in these 4 chunks, with a parking lot over here, kind of similarly to this, or I guess the parking lot's in front, something like that could look good. And then I'm thinking another one could rest down here, maybe another one over here. I don't, or like here. There's a lot of space that we could have for stuff. I think let's go ahead and just stop here and start placing in roadblocks because I kind of want to figure out where buildings are going to be before I really figure out where these are going to go. It's honestly building buildings and roads is kind of like a chicken and the egg situation because I don't really know what goes first. Do you build all of your roads and plan your buildings around the roads, or do you build the buildings and plan your roads around where the buildings are? I kind of did both because I started with this road right here, this strip here, and that's where this came across. And that was really more as the idea to block in this little hill here and then our main area over here. But then with this, we built these first, and we have the road coming off of it, and then we built this building. But we intentionally planned it out so the road could come across here. And originally, it was going to go this way. But either way, it was still going to end up going straight. But this is why I'm confused on where to go with this road straight. Because A, I don't know what I'm going to do. If I'm going to build something down here. And B, with the big one here, I kind of need to, I feel like I need that first. Because I need that and the parking lot before I know how the road is going to connect. Because that also would determine how the roads go around it. And that's where it might be difficult to keep the road straight. And really, if you think about roads in a forested area, they would not be straight at all. They would be very windy because it's a foresty area. But I'm struggling building windy roads. So for now, my focus isn't really the roads. The roads aren't important in this build. The buildings are. The Brutalist style building is. So that's why I'm kind of focusing more on that than I am on the roads. Because the roads, I mean, they still look like roads. They still look good. You know what I mean? But it's these buildings that I need to worry about. Speaking of which, griming this building is going to be something I kind of need to decorate. At least this front side. But ideally, all sides would be good. Oh, we're going to left with very little stone. Whew. Almost. Food is over here. Okay. Let's sleep. And then I'm going to need stuff. Alright, let's see. That's end stone. We don't want that. So we want... Honestly, it may be more advantageous to go one block at a time and put all of our black concrete. Now, the good news is, I have 9 shulker boxes of... I have 9 shulker boxes of ink sacks. I don't have the sand. I don't have the sand and gravel to make up for it, but I know Jordan sells gravel. And not too expensively, I don't think. So I think gravel should be easy to get. Sand, on the other hand... Ooh. My dad just sneezed. You could hear it from here. Granted, it's a small house. Oh, that's the second one. Either way. So I think that's probably the best plan of action right now. So we want 1, 2, 3. Bop. So I think this is probably the best plan right now. Is make a chain link. It's not a chain link, it's just where the road is going to go, and that way I don't have to worry about these blocks. I can just plan out where they're going to be and then fill in everything else with black concrete. Ooh, that's rough. Because it would be this. We'll see how that... Because we'd have to... Oh, that kind of sucks. Because we'd have to have that there. Might be worth having a yellow wool right on that block so it's all yellow. That's actually a pretty good idea. I like that idea. That's probably the best idea. And then we could probably put a shroom light in the top block. Probably good. Okay, good. So now I gotta figure out. So it's right here. So I'm thinking pop. That's honestly pretty good. I'm happy with that. The road, when they turn, is going to be pretty complicated. But granted, I may end up having this go straight as well. Go curve and straight. And, like, this road I might have... Wow, that really does look like a chain. This road I'm probably going to have mainly connect up to this one. And then probably have this one going to connect up here. And then they'll both connect to each other to go to the big guy. And I'm kind of debating... Okay, so I have 2 schools of thought. For the big building, we could either have a massive parking lot. That's just flat parking lot space. The benefits. We don't have as many trees to build because it's a giant parking lot. The cons. We have a giant flat space. And that doesn't look very good. So, I'm probably gonna... I think parking garage could be fun, and I think it would be much more interesting to build, because I'm thinking, like, 3 floors worth of parking, and, like, it would be pretty big. Like, 1 floor would be probably the size of what we've already got already, is kind of what I'm thinking. You know what I mean? Maybe 4 chunks is... probably 6 chunks is going to be just 1 floor of the parking lot, and I want to have 3 of them. Because that's also, you got to think of all of the pillars that got to go in there and all that kind of stuff. So there's like a lot more to the parking lot than just like layers on top of each other. Because we gotta have that, and then obviously all the parking spaces, and each line is, you know, one whole thing there, 1 block space because of the carpet. So we do need even more space just to make up for that. So it is what it is. But yeah, welcome in, engineer. How you doing today? What have you been up to today? I am currently building a road, redesigning its original shape. I had it kind of curving and going diagonally. It didn't look very good, so now I'm keeping it straight because I think that'll just look better, and it's easier to do. So I'm focusing on the buildings more for this base than I am the roads and pathways. Whoop. Though I will say the pathway I did over there, I'm very happy with, because I tried to make it look as if a truck, or multiple trucks really, fat fingering. That I need to get a new keyboard, because I keep fat fingering this keyboard, because the buttons are honestly really big, but the issue is that the buttons are also really close together. And so with my laptop, there's a pretty decent amount of space in between each of the buttons, which makes it a lot easier to push all the buttons down. But this guy that I got right now, unfortunately, does not have that. It's an on keyboard, so Walmart, just standard Walmart keyboard. Working on building most of the resin farm. Hopefully this one works as advertised. Ooh, fun. I'd love to honestly build with resin in the future, because as I've mentioned before, I think it would make really good fruit on a tree. And when you're building a forest, having that variety in the leaves, having the variety span more than just the leaf types into designs on the leaves could be cool. So I think that'd be kind of exciting and fun. That'd be very, very enjoyable. Yeah, we'll see. A lot of road. I haven't gotten started yet. But once we get this road done, probably turn my attention to grimifying the front of this building and getting all of the details in that I would like to. So first, I'll need to figure out exactly where AC units and stuff are going to go. Probably 2 fans on the side that has the 2 like flower greenhouse stuff, like having fans. Probably 4 fans in total for this build, because that makes sense. To have fans on this one. I also saw someone earlier today say that resin is better than scaffolding for high altitude building because it insta-mines with no tool, which is interesting if true. Yeah, I think it is. Also, like slime could be good. Yeah, getting a nice keyboard is so much better, or so much nicer. I bought a Cherry a few years back and it's the best. Ooh, I don't think I've ever heard of that brand before. Really, the only brand I would know of to even like think to try would be Logitech, because it's the very standard brand for stuff. But also I could browse Amazon and see what's on there, because the other thing is I need affordable as well. We need affordable and good, which is why I went with the On keyboard, because it was affordable. But I mean, the nice thing I like about the On brand, which I believe is just Walmart brand, is you get exactly what you pay for. And I think this was like $14. Yeah, it's a $14 maybe $20 keyboard. So it does what I need it to do, but it's not nice. So like, but now I really need a keyboard that has a numpad. Oh, I'm out of black concrete. Time to make some more. I need a keypad, because I have all of my mini HUD and Tweakaroo tweaks on the keypad. Mainly my mini HUD stuff. Because I have like Y is my free cam, but for all of my specialties, so like my hand restock, my toggled fast click, my tool switch, fake sneak placement, fake sneaking, all of those we've got over there. Now you know all the tools, all the little hacks I use. Okay, so I need... Here, I'm gonna switch my gaze before the concrete to just get this down. I'm gonna break this. And I need this as well. I probably will have more there. Welcome in, Angelish Bob. How you doing today? What have you been working on? I see you're AFK. Oh, well, I know what you were working on. Was the Blue Orchard stuff. Logica is kind of mid MO. Nice. Yeah, it is interesting. At my church, I work for the tech team on certain Sundays, And so they have a Logitech keyboard, and it's supposed to be ergonomic, so it's like got a bump in the middle and everything. Now, as I had just described earlier, my typing style isn't what normally is, so I find it very difficult to type on that keyboard because it's not flat. It's curved in the middle, so your hands rest and are like falling down. You know, it's, as I said, it's supposed to be ergonomic. I don't like it at all. Kind of sucks. And so like, I just think that's funny because it's Logitech, but it is not fun. My mouse though, man, I love my mouse. I'm probably gonna just use this mouse over and over again. As in, if this mouse breaks, I'll buy a new, same brand and everything of this mouse. I don't think I need an upgrade. Okay, I should really swap these. Actually, this is how it needs to be swapped. Because I do that. Because, like, I love the buttons. The only issue that I have, and I don't think there really is a solution to this, necessarily, is that the buttons on the side are just the numbers 1 through plus sign. That's all that it is. So we're going to do that up there, that here, and then I need that there. I'm not sure what you're saying, you two, because it works for multiple things that I have said in the last 20 seconds. But I'm going to assume it's probably to the ergonomic keyboard because it was disgusting to use. But yeah, so I forgot what I last said, but I love my mouse. Oh, that's right. The buttons are just number 1 to plus sign, which is still good. You know, I can swap to my sword without, you know, having to move on that. But the issue does come when you're doing things like in Enshrouded, it also has a hotbar. So when you're trying to move between the hotbar, like my dodge button is number 4 on my mouse, meaning the number 4 on my keyboard has to be is key bound to dodge as well, so I can't use it for the number 4 hotbar slot. Okay, I actually had way more streamlines left over than I thought it would have. I need a singular piece of yellow wool to put right there. The ergonomic keyboard, yeah. I don't like it at all, but I just work back there. Luckily, I do sound most of the time. I actually did end up having more stone. I figured I was going to use more stone than I did. I ended up having more of both items. So you can throw that in there, and we can throw that in there. And then I need, do I even have a piece of yellow wool? I have yellow concrete. I do not have a single piece of yellow wool. So can I find my... Okay, well. For the ergonomic, Logitech. More black dye. Oh, I placed all my glass, that's right. Flowers box. We can go ahead and take... Actually, I can just take one of these, because I only need one piece. One yellow dye, please. I need a singular yellow... somewhere over here. There it is. Seriously, Denalid, when is this wool shop coming, bro? I'm gonna need yellow wool, bro. I keep buying from the farm itself. Boom. Oh, yeah, that was a good idea. Do I put a carpet on top, though? I don't know. Should I put a carpet on the top, or do we like it not? So that way it feels more like it flows down. I'm thinking carpet on top, actually. Yeah, I'm thinking carpet. My mouse? It's a good question. It's got... I don't actually know. UTech Smart Venus 8GB MMO wireless gaming mouse with 16,000 DPI. I don't even know what that means, but it's got it. Though it's a UTech Smart Venus Pro mouse. I'm honestly surprised that all of that was on the bottom of the mouse. You know, I just picked it up and was like, what? What brand is this? Alright, there we go. Yeah, carpet was a good idea. Okay, cool. We need more black, or not black dye. We have got plenty of that. We need more concrete. May go get something to drink in a little bit, but I think I wanna wait a little while longer on that. So, what am I looking at? Over here. Do I have... Oh, gorgeous. I've got tons of stuff. I do not have that, so I'm going to put the gravel away and take out this. And we're going to do bop, 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 bop. And we're going to do bop. Oh, interesting. Okay, so we can leave the sand, and then I'm gonna keep the black dye, or black concrete on me. Throw that in there, and then one of these is empty. That's empty. Throw that in there. Throw the sand into there, and then just put those right there. Cool. Cool. Strange. For a lot of peripherals, there is software that you can download to change what buttons do. Yeah, I'm not too sure how that works though, because that's what I would hope for, is that I can, you know, basically make it just 12 unique keybinds that are separate from everything else. But I don't know if the computers themselves understand that kind of stuff. So that's like mainly what I'm thinking, is that the computer wouldn't understand that these 12 buttons are anything but that, because that's just that's just what it's keybound to. So essentially it's more of a keybind shortcut than it is a unique button. Which, as I said, I mean, it still works. It's just, you know, we can't then use the buttons for anything on our hotbar. Granted, I rarely ever do. Like, I scroll a lot, and the scroll wheel works pretty darn well. So I'm happy with that. I like that. But I know there are some mice that have, whatchamacallit? Oh, that's a good question. Wow, I looked away for 2 seconds. I know there's some mice that have, like, unique, like, 2 buttons on the sides that are unique. So I feel like it could be possible. So maybe I would, like, look into a mouse that could do that. But ultimately, I like the mouse. Like, I like the way this one feels as well. And, you know, I'm a very routine person. So once I find something that I like, I can do that. That's what the software is for, bro. Alright, we just established earlier in the stream that I didn't like computers. I was going to be a video game design major, but I didn't like working with computers. I didn't like IT and IS, so I swapped majors. And that was off of the introduction to IT and IS. I wasn't even doing anything hard at that point. It was just all the information. I said, man, this is boring. I don't think I can handle this. And I thought I was going to get a C in the class. I ended up getting a B. I've gotten all A's and B's for my grades, except for my sciences, which I got D's in. But now if anyone looks at my DCP, they'll see all A's and B's for everything else, and they'll say, don't make this guy do anything science-y, because he did very poorly in it, which is ironic because I actually really like science when it comes, but I really like physics because it's more math-based, which is why I like physics. But I took chemistry my freshman year, first semester of college. And at the start, I was like, man, yeah, this is like it was in high school. This isn't too bad. And then all of a sudden, it was like, what the heck is going on? I can't seem to get anything right. So this is college chemistry, and I got a D, and I tried very hard. I even studied and stuff. Normally, I don't ever study. But I even studied with another person that was in the class, and I was like, man, this is a struggle bus. And then I took psychology, and I didn't care about that class, so I didn't try very hard, which is why I got an E. But hey, I passed, and I don't have to take it, and it's covering my science credit. I don't care. I still have a 3.5 GPA. Because I still have all A's and B's. So we're chilling over here. Better than finding out in 3 years. That's what I'm saying, you know. Are you speaking from personal experience, question mark? So we can go ahead and actually we can chuck that in there. And we can chuck that in there. But I have one of the mouse buttons bound to F6, so I can also bind it to typical. Yeah. So I can. Oh, I see what you're saying now. You can bind the mouse to that. That's kind of fun though. Chem 201 is tough. Oh, I wasn't even 201. It was 101, man. It was Chem 101. And as I said, like at the first couple weeks, I was like, this is chill, dude. Oh man, what the heck? Yes. Thank you. I'm gonna scroll this down because I now can't see what Donald said. Now I knew from high school that I wanted to code. That's fair. I feel like coding would be fun. I've tried to code I've tried to code mods before, but every single time I get like Eclipse, IDE and all of that, the issue I always run into, my first issue, I can never launch Minecraft through the app to see if the mod is even working. And that's where I always stop, because I'm like, I can't figure out why this isn't working. And unfortunately, I do not have a magical gnome that's holding the fabric of the universe together in my code, so it just never works. But I always go through that phase where I'm like, man, because I have so many mod ideas that I'm like, this would be really cool to see as a mod, but I have no idea how to make it. So that's always my struggle bus. Several people I went to school with decided in middle school of year 3 that they did not like computer science. Fair, yeah. Computer science is like you either like it or you don't. I don't feel like there's people in the middle necessarily that are like, yeah, I guess I'm the closest to like in the middle because I don't mind it, but like I don't get it. It does not compute, pun intended. I was very bad at studying, but I would code for fun. Nice. We also did a whiteboard design session for fun, so I got pretty decent at both designing and writing code. Ooh, nice. Yeah, not me. I never could make it that far. Okay, well, we have more road now. Look at that. That looks nice. That looks really nice. So, there's a few options. We could fill in the grass and terraform around this to kind of make this look a little bit nicer, just some basic terraforming. We have the shulker boxes over here, so we could grime the back of this building and then come back over here and do the front of this one and maybe the sides as well. We could go to the end and dig some, though I don't know if we have the Instamine in yet, which would make it a little bit more tedious. Or we could place black glass on the end floor. Or dare I say interiors. Just kidding, that's not on the table. I don't have any ideas. I don't know what to do. While you guys think about that, I'm going to step up here for a second. And I'm going to get myself something to drink. So I will be right back. I just realized that I could have done something, and I didn't, and it would have been a good idea if I did. I could have done a poll while I was gone. But it's okay. We got the goods. My stock is almost out. It's very sad. I think I'm gonna grime. I think grinding is where it's at. I've spent too much time in the end. And it would be kind of nice to have a change of scenery, I think. But yeah. Like, these buildings just fit in so much better now that there is this here. It's so much nicer. Another thing that could be fun, fun in quotations to do, is map art of a stop sign, so I can put it on these so it at least looks more like a stop sign. Because right now it's not looking too stop signy. Okay, so I do have this backside as something to do. I think I'm gonna start. That's where it went. See, I knew I had one for those. Okay, I forgot they're over here. Lol. We're gonna get rid of these so they're not in my way. Make life a little bit easier. Oh, I got a bush. Like, be very, very nice. Oh, jeez Louise, man, what the heck are these hiccups? Are we good? We good, homie? Oh, baby. Look at that. Skill and precision. Okay. So, let's chuck that guy in there, and that guy in there. See, I knew I had way more buttons. Jeez Louise. Alright. Let's scaffold the place up. Another thing I gotta figure out is this terraforming on what I want to do here. Because I probably want to tear this down, because as I said, the big one's going over here, so it would kind of make sense if this is a little bit smaller, because this is going to get a little bit smaller, but probably still raised. And I'm thinking, ooh, idea, the first floor of the parking lot is where the road will come into, but the second floor of the parking lot is actually where you go to enter into the building. You know what I mean? And I might put a redstone elevator in the building, because it would make sense. Yeah, let's get rid of the leaves that are on the wall. We don't want those anymore. We don't want those anymore. Maybe I'll be lazy with this side, and I won't put grime underneath this, so I don't have to deal with breaking the redstone. Because that's always annoying. Breaking my redstone every time I want to decorate. Good. I'm glad I could reach everything. Alright, get this out of my inventory. So we want to be 1 block away. Sorry. So I think we want to be like right here. I don't know. Here. I am kind of just making things up. I'm not measuring these at all. One more, like right there. But it's fine. It's fine. We'll be fine. We just need scaffolding here. If it's so bad, we can remove the layer and move it elsewhere. Okay. See, the other option that we could have, I could also do a game swap at some point. Because I'm probably, after this, would want to play Elden Ring. So I modded the game to make it a little bit easier for me, because it was too hard. Actually, ooh, that's a strat right there. I don't have to go down. So I've gotten a mod that disabled the death penalty, so I no longer lose my runes when I die. So I don't have, because it was annoying. So originally, it was funny, because the first thing that I did, the first mod just allowed me to grab my runes no matter where I was on the map. And that was super helpful. But the problem is, one thing I never realized, because I died so often, and I normally just lost my runes, so I never noticed it. Every time you die, there's also just a general penalty on the runes. So you progressively lose more and more each time. You don't actually get all of them back. You get, like, maybe 10% of them are gone each time. But when you die 30 times, and you had 30,000 runes, that's 10% each time, stacking on top of each other. At the end of the day, you're probably still going to end up with 0. Because I'm also at a point where things are too expensive to even spend the runes on. So I found a different mod which just eliminates the rune penalty altogether. So now I don't lose runes at all. And that's super nice. They just stay in my inventory. And so if I die, I can die 1,000 times and it's not as annoying, because I don't lose anything for dying. Because there's no durability or anything like that in the game. What am I doing grabbing the grime stuff? I'm not on this stage yet. We're not there yet. I need to first put in the things that are going to get grime, dude. I need these jits. Oh, I'm gonna need more tough. That's rough. Dude, that's rough, bro. Alright, well, let's grab tough. So I did that, and then another one that I found. Now, I found a couple, and I'm still not 100% sure how modding Elden Ring works, because it's really weird. So I got one that was supposed to lower the cost of leveling up by like 75%, but instead of like giving me a neat little folder, it just gave me the file itself to mod, and it didn't, putting it in the place it told me to put it didn't do anything, and so it never worked, and so I used a different thing from a different video, and that caused my game to not work at all. So then I had to get rid of everything, and going all the back and forth. That was unfortunate, but that doesn't go there. There we go. That goes in there. That's not a lot. I was kind of hoping for more, if I'm being real with you. That's fine. Alright, I am starting to think that I kind of want more of the walls. Do I have... Yeah, I don't have any more. Sweet, yeah, I don't have it in there. Good. Shouldn't. Let's go ahead and get rid of this. And this is a 1-to-1 anyways. That should be good on walls, I think. I'm starting to think I really do need a place for the grindstones and stuff to go, because it is getting a little annoying not having that. But our bulk wall is already getting pretty full, so I can't like remove chests and have it somewhere. So I'm actually glad I did this. But we may need more bulk storage, so... No, not really. You never played Elden Ring yourself, but I managed the map quest tracker and desired item list for a friend while you played. Oh, nice. Yeah, that is something that I need to get a little bit better at with the game, because like the map isn't loaded for you, which I'm pretty sure there's probably a mod for that as well. Because there's one YouTuber that I've gotten, and I've been watching a lot of his videos on Elden Ring because he was pretty entertaining. And like his map always seemed to be full, and so I'm going to have to assume he probably has a mod installed that does that for him, so that way he doesn't have to do it every single time and have like find the maps. Okay, so it's at this level. So we need boop 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 boop, and then we'll put one. We'll also put one. Let's put it like right here, which kind of is annoying on myself. Why did I do this to myself? But hey, it's fine. It's totally fine. Don't worry about it. Okay, so that's up at my eye line. So we'll go ahead and go to here and pop, pop, and pop, pop. We'll skip that one, and we'll put one like right here. Pop, pop, pop. It was specifically for high altitude where it can take as much as a minute for the scaffolding support pillars to hit the ground. Oh, I'm curious about the resin. Oh, yeah. That is kind of interesting. Okay, had to disappear for a work call. Hello again. Welcome back. No problem. I understand that a lot of people are probably working from home today. Question for you, Bob. Do you also happen to be in computer science and are working from home? This is on the third. Why is it progressively getting a block higher? Like first it was down, you know, it's down here, then the next layer was down here. Now it's on this one. We're gonna skip that one. Go to this guy. Technically, yes. Jeez, man. Looks like it's a popular field to be in these days. I wonder why. Not like we're getting into a computer age. Actually, you know what? I kind of want to stir the pot a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. I kind of want to stir the pot. But we're a hybrid. I don't get to touch as much code anymore. Gotcha. Well, even still, I mean, this for all those computer science people, what are y'all's thoughts on AI? Because, like, I could see AI in the computer science field actually being extremely helpful because you can have it perform tasks for you that are very tedious and time-consuming, and you can have AI basically, like, teaching AI how to write code so that way you no longer have to. And, like, imagine, like, I could see computer science is shifting where the coding is no longer the coding itself, but coding an AI to do that for you is like a permanent junior developer. So I feel like in the computer sciences, AI is probably extremely useful because of how many tasks and how many things it can speed up for your job and make easier and not as much of a headache. And yeah, it's like having another person there that's also performing the job. So is this gonna be 4 blocks above my head? 1, 2, 3, 4. It is. So it's like it's on that block. So I'm gonna do one right there. Right? Is that the right level? Yes. But we're gonna swap things up and do this and this. It can absolutely speed up a lot of tasks, but also takes a lot of constant babysitting. And that's like that's something I feel like will eventually go away in time, probably. Is like as AI develops more, you're probably going to I kind of actually need to get up here, so I kind of need to do this. Oop, I didn't need to do that though. Let's go do this. It could be useful, but it needs to be monitored all the time. Yeah, I don't think it could go away because hallucinations are always going to exist. Yes. Because, like, for me personally, even though I'm in a creative field, I really like AI. Because it can do a lot of things that I can't. And that's kind of awesome. Now, I would always, and I mean always, prefer another human do anything creative. But, as somebody who does not have the money to afford things like that, it is nice to be able to have a one-stop shop to do something like that, which I know now I've stirred the pot. But it also means here's where artists need to take advantage of AI. No, I'm not saying that artists should use AI to make their art. What I'm saying that I haven't gotten to say yet is that they should use it as like a temporary kind of a temp tool, basically. So like, let's say you have a client who wants this very specific niche thing, and you're having a hard time understanding what they're asking you to do. Well, now you can say, AI, can you make me this that's a little bit of this? And AI will spit something out, and you're like, yeah, it looks something like that. Now the artist is like, oh, I see what you were trying to go for, and they can make it exactly how you've described it, but now they have a mental image of what your mental image was. And sometimes that won't work. Sometimes you'll put it in and AI will spit something out and you're like, that's nothing like I wanted. But so far, every time I've used AI, it has always given me exactly what I wanted. Like I have yet to be disappointed necessarily by something that AI has given me. I've been like, oh, that's exactly what I was looking for. You know what I mean? Kind of sucks in that sense, because like, yeah, now there's artists that I'm not using, but then again, I don't have the money to afford an artist, so a lot of my AI stuff is like temporary. It's for now, since I'm a small creator. Am I doing that right? Yeah. I'm a small creator, so like I kind of need to use tools that can make it feasible for me to exist at the same level that the big guys are existing at, right? Because you think about it, all these big guys, they have their artists that can make them their title screens and all this stuff for them. How am I supposed to compete with that? I can't afford the things that they can. So like, how am I supposed to be able to do anything unless I use it temporarily to get started into the industry, and then from there, once I have the rapport and the money, then I can start actually getting artists to make it look really good. You know, the AI, like, it's one of those, talk about template, like, not templating, formatting. AI art is basically formatted art. It's objectively looking at what would make art look good and spitting that out, which is why AI stuff looks good, but there's always a little bit missing from it, because it doesn't have the imperfections necessarily that humans would have, which actually is where the beauty lies, is in the parts that aren't perfect, is in the slight mistakes, the happy accidents that come from a human hand painting a canvas or a digital screen, you know what I mean? AI can't imitate that necessarily. You can give it a mock image and say kind of copy the design, but really, once again, it's formatting. It's saying I'm taking this other image, formatting it as this image, so you're getting what you want, but not really, because you lose that human element to it, which is very important. And I don't ever think AI will replace art, because there's the human element that we instinctively know is there that we'll never lose. Okay, I've been not reading up on things. It should be used as a tool like that. Other than that, I don't think AI is taking dollars from artists. They're using the art using it for art wouldn't have paid an artist anyways. That starts to get to a bigger economic question. Couldn't afford to pay. Last job wanted to use AI for images. It sucked at doing anything replicable or accurate. Yeah, and that's the other thing. AI also has a hard time repeating its tasks as well. Oh, that backwards. Hold up, I gotta fix that. And so AI has like a hard time like doing the same thing. Now you can have it be like, okay, I want, let's say you want somebody running through a forest. Well, now you're like, I want that same guy, but running through a desert. It'll give you a roughly the same guy, but it'll still be a little bit different because it can't quite figure out what it was supposed to do. And so like it can't quite replicate itself again. Okay, I just have that one that's incorrect. Oh yeah, replication is a big deal because, and this is my understanding of it, every prompt is a new action because it can't reuse the original response. Yeah, so it can never perfectly replicate it. So that's another thing. Which, I mean, you think about it, like technically a human can't necessarily also 100% accurately replicate it, but it certainly does a lot better. So there are things that humans are better at. Will AI get to a point where it can? I feel like probably, but once again, you can't remove, you can't, there will always be the human element that'll be necessary for art to even exist. In music and visual art and all of this, you're always going to need that human element. And without that human element, you don't really have anything. And so I'm not scared personally that AI will take over artists and all creative jobs. And so I think graphic designers that are getting scared of AI, like, oh no, it's going to steal our jobs. I'm like, no, it never will. It never can. It does not have the ability to. It does not have the computing and artistic ability to be able to steal that. Oh, man. 3D artists can get pretty dang close. And no, that's what I mean. Like, they do a much better job than the AI. That was my biggest beef with the AI Coca-Cola commercials. Apart from how bad they looked, they also felt lifeless. Yeah, the irony is I'm drinking a Coke right now, but the flavor's not AI, at least. So that's good. You know what I actually really want to do? A little side tangent, little side thought that just popped into my head. I hope I get big enough not because I want all the money. I couldn't care less about the money. No, what I want to do is I want to have enough rapport that I can make my own drink company and basically make my own soda and make my own, like, Coke. But the problem is I probably will never like whatever it is that I make, because I would prefer to just grab an actual Coke rather than whatever it is that I'll make. And I'm thinking of calling it the wet stuff. Don't ask me why. It just is what it is. All right, there we go. Do that. Perfect. As stupid as that is. Did you hear about the guy who cracked the Coke formula? Yeah, I saw the video on my For You channel, like For You page. I'm like, that's kind of crazy, actually. Actually, those go afterwards. But I may watch the video. I don't know. I might as well. I'm always running out of content to watch on YouTube. That's why I got stuck in the Elden Ring loop. I ran out of Minecraft content to watch, and like my other guys that I normally watch. And so then I found this AI guy, this Elden Ring player, and his videos were really fun. So I watched a lot of them, and then I found a different guy, and his videos were also really fun. So now I'm subscribed to both of them. And the latter guy makes like really long videos, and because of the snowstorm, I've watched one of his 5-hour long videos in one day, not in one sitting, but just throughout the day. I watched like an hour at a time or something like that, just because I needed an hour-long break from whatever it was I was doing. And yeah, it's crazy. It totally makes sense. Same with cracking the KFC's spice mix, because they're keeping it a secret. They can't publicize it, so if someone actually figures it out, it's public domain. Yeah, dude. Are you a Elden Ring fan, Nerb? Also, I've been meaning to ask you, what is your preferred, like, name that you like to be called? Like, do you like a Nerb? I also see your Angelish Bob, so is, like, Bob a name as well? Or do you like Ain? Or, like, A-N? Like, what is your preferred name of choice? I think I only really need 3 stacks. Well, Ain or Bob is fine. Okay. Because I think Bob probably flows a little smoother than Ain. And am I pronouncing it like, would it be Ain or would it be like A-N? Though I will say a Nerb is pretty fun to say. Though, once again, I don't know if I'm actually pronouncing that correctly. But it is pretty fun. Okay, let's go down here. Now it's gram time, baby. So yeah, it's just kind of Ain, like rain. Okay, so you were sweet, awesome. I always like pronouncing things correctly. All right, I guess you're living in there, my guy. Have fun. No, okay. I guess you're not living in there. There's no flowers in there. Good on you. Good on you. Good choice, my guy. Good choice. That guy almost just signed his life away so he could live inside of this building. He's like, I'm living in there now. Let's be crazy. Do a thick one right there. Look at that. I'm crazy out here. Also agreed, again, Knight, you can't take the human out of humanity. Exactly. So I really don't think all of the fears people have with AI, and of course, as a film guy, not like a film watcher, but as a film major, you think about all of the movies that have been made on AI taking over, right? You have I forgot what it is called, and it might be literally AI, but the Will Smith, I Am Robot, right? Is that the right name for it? But the Will Smith movie with the AI, that's that guy, right? You have a movie like that, that spreads around, and, you know, you have people... Oh, iRobot. And so you have something like that, and, of course, that gets people all riled up and like, oh, look at AI. Like, we could have a robot apocalypse, you know what I mean? Like, the robots could take over. And I'm like, I don't really think robots are gonna take over, man. See, the real kicker here is even with AI, autonomous... What's the I stand for again? I forgot. Wait, what? Not autonomous. Artificial intelligence. That's what AI stands for. Forgot. The thing is, it still needs to be coded. At the end of the day, it still needs to be coded. So, it's always going to be that slight bit of human element added into it. And meaning that, like, AI can't take over because it still is gotta be developed by a human. It's gotta be coded by a human. So at the end of the day, if an AI robot goes rogue, it's probably coded that way. And then you got, like, things like Ultron, which is, like, he absorbed all of the internet and said, well, humanity's gotta go. Was it still Ultron that's, like... I forgot what it was. I feel like there was something where somebody, like, read up on all the internet was, like, humanity is a plague that needs to be killed. Or something like that. That might have been Ultron as well. Or I'm mixing it up with One Punch Man in the beginning. Like, the first villain we meet that dies instantly. I am going to be lazy and not do that one because it's the back of the building. So, we're going to... See, this is where fake sneaking comes in handy. Because I will definitely be walking off of this. Very Agent Smith. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, that kind of vibe, I don't think we'll have to worry about it. And, like, yeah, the internet's not the greatest place. Let's be honest here. It's kind of dookie out there. But at the end of the day, like, I don't think AI is really gonna take over here, man. I don't know what happened with that one, but hey, it happened. I can't see no more. It's too dark. So yeah, pot has been stirred. But like we have all the essentially propaganda. Really, entertainment at this point is propaganda. I think that's I'm pretty happy with that grind. I'm pretty happy with that. I think we could call that a project well done. We can officially put the stamp of exterior is completed. I am pleased with the end result. Oh, wait, I forgot. There's one layer that I still have to add. Hold. I forgot about the mushrooms. Not that they're that important. They add like a little bit. Would red sand be too much under the air cons? Look a little rusty. I've never thought about red sand. I'm afraid the red sand would be too red though, too orange. Like it'd pop out a little too much. Because it's going for a much more like subtle kind of vibe. But yeah. But personally, I don't think AI is ever gonna get smart enough. Hello, buddy. Whatever you do, don't walk through there. Thank you. Leave the space. We'll appreciate that, Marvelous. Now get the frig out of here. So like, yeah. Do we want to add any more of these patches? I want to add one right up there. Right up here. Let's add it like way behind it. Yeah. I think that'll be good. Yeah. I think I'm happy with that. I don't have that many mushroom stems, so I don't want to use too many in a build. I only have so many. Not that they're like difficult to come by because of the Mushroom Island, which is nice, but still not easy to gather large quantities of. See, these mushroom stems are the kind of thing that I wish there was a shop for. I would buy mushroom stems. You know what I'm saying? They are very annoying to farm because you only get like 5 to 8 stems per mushroom, but obviously the big 8 stemmers are very annoying to deal with because you're too short to reach everything. Fly mode. There we go. Scaffolding isn't that important, but I would like my scaffolds. Thank you very much. I prefer scaffolding to a happy ghast. I'm not a huge fan of the happy ghasts in terms of like their movement is a little clunky to me. And so I always have a hard time with them because I'm like trying to move, and because like shift isn't down, it's to get off, makes it a little bit difficult because every time I want to go down, I have to look down. And like when I look, so does the happy ghast move, so I'm moving more than I need to. Unless I hold shift, but then I can't move on the happy ghast. So I feel like there's just always these like every time, and then yeah, they're really slow. And so it also makes it really challenging to move. Okay, this shulker box is gonna have to be dealt with. But we can take all of those out, get rid of that. Find that. And do that. And then grab this one, and then find that. But yeah, because the scaffolding is just a little bit easier to use, in my opinion. Okay, so here's where things get interesting. So I obviously have that. Really, I should be doing this. Oh, that. So now we have 2 empty shulker boxes. And now we have to put all of these away. Pretty sure I have one for this. And then wherever it went. There it is. Do that, and then iron is right over here. Don't think I have any more specific for those to go because I don't have that many. Bone blocks. I believe Denaldi is AFK at the moment. Okay, I do have one for that. If you haven't rebounded, I think you can alt-click to quickly move all stacks. I don't think that works. Like, I have seen people do that, and I do want to know how that works, because that would be amazing. Do I have a booty from here? Okay, those are there. I am using mouse tweaks to make life a little bit easier. So like, I don't know if this is vanilla game or not, but I just recently learned that you could do that. But mainly the thing that I have is like I can hold click and just easily move things in without having to click each one of them individually. So that's nice. Okay, I'm going to go buy rockets with my very limited amount of diamonds. You got that feature through item scroller? Nice. Yeah, I use mouse tweaks. Mouse tweaks are very nice. They make life easy. Also, I think I figured out the issue with this. It might be because those are too high and the stairs confuse them. Is kind of what I'm thinking. That might be the issue. Possibly. stacks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, almost. Alright, but now we're chilling. Other than the fact that I have only 23 diamonds. Let's see how the iron golem has done. Not chilling. Okay, well, I have a ton more lanterns because of all the villager trading I've been doing. If we come up here, we got this beautiful area. I don't know if you've seen this, Bob, but this place is kind of epic. This is a fun project to work on. We got hoppas. I want to get one freeze. Just saying. And then, I love that little Nintendo Switch over there. Shoot, hopefully they won't come after me after that. I don't like it when you do that. It's like the only company that doesn't. It's weird. And Nintendo is weird. Just gonna say that. Put that on the record. Nintendo is weird. Yeah, okay. Now that I piqued your interest, let's head back there. So this is armor stand magic. Whoops. I've been thinking about using the same magic to do the word lounge over top of the door. But yeah, we got foosball over here. Got pool. And we got ping pong. And as I said, we got a little gaming console with, you know, our game over there. This is actually signs. This right here is a sign underneath of this. I would break it to show you, but I'm afraid that the armor stand would be in the way and I wouldn't be able to put it back. But yeah, this is my magnum opus right here, the foosball. This thing is nice. So this was a challenge. I had to look up foosball to see how many guys were on the side and which side they were on. And doing all of that. And nicely, the shelves are amazing for these now because it's like for this table, it's the right color as well for a pool table. The only issue is this pops up, so it doesn't make full sense. It would probably have been beneficial for me to give this treatment, but I wanted to utilize this trick because it's a very common trick that people use for pool tables. But yeah, I know they're amazing. Shelves are better as a building block than they are as anything else. So yeah, that's kind of crazy. See engineers vibing over here. Not sure what he's up to today. Looks like he might be building a new shop or probably the resin farm. Nice. I'm going to go check up on the end and see if I can insta-mine endstone with haste. Normally you can't, but I think I've convinced the higher-ups to allow it for this project specifically. Granted, I think it should be a Minecraft thing in general. Hello. That happens every once in a while. And Val over here being an absolute menace and just churning through this place. Crazy. It's actually kind of crazy. Oh, it hasn't been. Sad. We just come over here. Oh, I have a data pack on because gray is my favorite color. And it's one of the things you can do with vanilla tweaks is change the slime color. So I was like, yeah, we're going to make them gray. We're going to make them light gray. So my sticky pistons are also light gray. I have a rule with myself with resource packs where I never have a resource pack that changes a texture of another block to something so vastly different from its original that you start using that block. Like I've seen people change note blocks into boxes. And so they'll put a bunch of note blocks throughout, which look great as boxes, but if you don't have that data pack on, or that resource pack on, they wouldn't look like boxes to you, it would just look like note blocks. And so I'm like, for other people, they won't see it that way. So I intentionally avoid resource packs like that. Slimes are the only thing that I have that does that, because I don't build with slime blocks as a decorative block. It doesn't really matter. I use connected glass textures because I don't like. Oh, I do connected as well. Yeah. Yeah. If we do one of these, whoop, do a little bit of this. We've got. See, it's very nice for the floor, because if you have connected, I mean, with that off, I bet you. I honestly forgot I even placed glass there from like this angle. It doesn't even look like there's glass. It just looks like the void. But then you go through it. That's what the void looks like. That's what the glass. And you can only tell because of that. Now you see why I need a ridiculous amount of black dye. We're gonna glass up the floor there. And then of course my roads are made of black concrete, so I'm just down bad for the black dye. But now I've got 9 shulker boxes worth of ink sacs, so I have a couple of texture changes for redstone to make it easier to read, but that's about it. Yeah, I have a like all the 3D resource pack. So like a lot of the like 2D blocks are 3D, except for a few. Like bushes, I didn't like the way those looked. But like redstone is 3D, rails are 3D, and all of these other things are 3D instead of 2D. And so it just adds a little bit more to it, which is nice. I will say, mining in Minecraft, or like placing a bunch of blocks. I got stuck a little bit. We're just gonna leave that mined because I'm not gonna place those back. Doing this is about the same thing as like doodling, and I wish I could do this in class. It's just like mine, because it would help me get the things done, because it would be killing 2 birds with 1 stone. I get to dig this out and get it done. And I also have the benefits of listening a little bit easier because my hands are busy, so it's essentially a fidget. As I said, it's like the same as doodling. But because it's a video game, everyone goes crazy. But I'm just saying. So like sometimes online classes can be really nice because of that. Because I can just like I can have the online class in the background while the teacher's teaching, and I could just dig. It's so nice. And just vibe. All this good jazz. Funny thing is, so teacher teaches, right? As a screenwriter, it's really fun to do to write in an action line that the teacher teaches. It just sounds funny. It's not very exciting to have the teacher teach, because obviously they're a teacher, you'd expect nothing less. I can't. I'm sorry, I can't. I know I'm gonna dig it later, but not right now, and so I can't leave it in its current status. But yeah. Oh, I probably should have stayed there. But, hold on, I don't need to do that. I forgot I don't need to fly to my base anymore. I have a portal set up. At least to the storage system, not to the villagers. Ooh. This is new. I don't think it's finished, though. And then I know there was another shop that Knight was building out here. Oh, look at that. Speak of Knight, and there she is. So that's cool. I'm glad to see some more infrastructure. I am thinking about setting up a few more shops myself, which I might make my next episodes, because I might do a, I have a ton of bone blocks. I have a massive bone block farm. As you can see, I use them quite often. I don't know. Yeah, I sit watching Night Slack over there. So I used a lot of bone blocks, so I needed bones down bad for bones. But we're chilling now. We got so many. Add that to the never-ending pile of endstone. So yeah, that's pretty chill. Alright, let's see here. We gotta work on this. We also have this that I gotta figure out texturing-wise how that's gonna work. And then this as well, my little happy gas storage. Granted, I probably will never take this guy out. I have no reason to. But he is there. Alright, I'm getting into that lull where I don't want to do any more work. Because now it's all just the grind work. You know, it's not the most exciting stuff, I will say. Not the most exciting. I already did a bunch of texture, and I don't want to texture this no more. I was getting strong Imperial base vibes from that Happy Gas port. I know, I love this thing. It doesn't look like it would work, but it does. You can get in and out of this place. And it's funny, because, like, this whole section in here changed so vastly. Like, I built this, and I knew I wanted to... Hello, chubbers. I knew I wanted to use this design-ish, but, like, I had something completely different in the time-lapse, and then when I came out of the time-lapse, I changed it again to what we have here. And it's just kind of funny. It completely changed. Alright. So here's what I'm thinking. We'll go ahead and use chubbers. Why not? So I'm thinking if we can find... Do I not have... Man, I don't. We can grab some of this. In fact, I might even use some of that. And then we can do a little bit of that action. And then if I can find this... Grab a little bit of that action. That's probably good right there. We can do a little bit of detailing from, you know, where I know I want to do detailing. But after building this section here, I think this is getting crazy, but next season, my base, I think, is going to be a mountain village with this kind of style. I really like building it. I really like these colors together. These browns, kind of nice, actually. So as we can just go here, we just fly forward, fly up, and out we go. Just like that. So if I do like a little bit of that, actually a little bit of that. You know what I mean? A little bit of action. Kind of have it going out a little bit more. Do a little bit of that action. I mean, I was getting there, but, you know, a little bit of diorite in there as well to, like, break up the white. Kind of add a little bit more texture. I don't know, what are you thinking about that? I think we need a little bit more texture at the bottom. A little bit more, right? Nope, that's not the right block. That block. A little bit more right here, so I'm thinking actually this, that. And then if we try to speedily get away so we can look at it. Yeah? Yeah. And then we'll put grime kind of around this area as well, I think, to kind of add into it. So we'll like grimify these areas. Maybe I'll put like an AC unit right there. We don't like that one die, right? Not a fan. Yeah, that's it. I like that. Okay. And then, oh, I think I'm done. All right, see you later, engineer. And then over here, I like to put the diorite around. Another issue with the Happy Gas is a little too fat, making it difficult to get through here. But I like to add, oops, some of this. The other thing that's annoying is the suffocation. Like, if you're flying in a ceiling, you will get suffocated, and I think that's really annoying. I feel like the happy gas, there should be something that's exactly the problem. I think there's something that should prevent a happy gas from moving forward when you're riding it. See, I can't get to the bottom now. We'll come back and do that. We'll try to get the other window. And happy gas is just too slow to make it kind of worth it to use, if I'm being honest. He's not fast enough, man. He's too fat, he's too slow. I mean, I'm not trying to insult the guy here, but come on, he's making it easy. Okay, that's a great line for a movie. I'm just saying, that's a great line. Be perfect for something in a movie. Like, some underdog kid is who they're talking about. You know what I mean? So, you know, some scrawny little guy, New Yorkers, or like something. And that could be kind of funny. Alright, I guess not scrawny. In this case, I was calling Chubbers fat. He was chubby. Watch Chubbers. Oop. Oop. See what I mean? Like, I'm trying to shift, and I can do that. And you can just walk off. Look at that! Look at that! Very nice, very nice. And we can just go ahead and get this from the inside. But yeah, look at that. That just kind of helps frame it a little bit better, I think. Not frame it, but... Oh, I guess I still have this one as well. It makes it a little bit dirtier, though I think I don't like these ones. I kind of want it touching the glass directly. Shift there. I think that's better. Yeah. Okay, so let me fix that without the happy gas, because it's going to be faster and easier. Whoa! What the heck happened right there? What the? Oh. And then gotta sleep. It's getting dark out here, bro. Okay. Let's do. Oop, I forgot. I'm gonna have it blocked off as well. It's just the one that's like right there. Let's go ahead and. Oh. So I take a bop. You're a pretty big Star Wars fan. I'd have to wager. What is your favorite Star Wars movie? Yeah, that's better. I like that. Cool. Put those away. Put that jet away. Now let's put that in the corner. Cool. That's nice. Got that all sorted out here. And then Empire Strikes Back. Very nice, very nice. Unfortunately, I am not much of a Star Wars guy. So I don't actually know if I have a favorite one necessarily, because I've only really seen them like once before. But honestly, I mean, just because I've seen it probably more recently, but Rogue One honestly was really good. Like, out of the new ones. Okay, yeah, out of the newer ones. Like, that was probably only one of the only good ones that came out of it. Or the sequels and the prequels. Yeah. Oh, you have beef with Rogue One? Oh. I feel like, yeah, every Star Wars fan has their beefs. Yeah. Sure, it's a great movie, but there's always the but that comes with it. You can't cast Donnie Yen and then have him be, and not have him be Donnie Yen. Oh, really? That was your gripes with it. But he fought people. He was blind and he fought people. It was freaking epic. I don't know how much more he could have done. What do you mean by that? Because I've seen him in other things like IP Man and all of that. That is the same actor, right? If I'm getting that right. I know there was another one that was another movie that I know him from, but I can't remember what it was called. I spent that whole movie waiting for Donnie Yen to break out his awesomeness, and then he had like one scene. Okay, yeah. But I thought that was like the whole point. Like, I mean, because the movie's not centered around the guy, so he can't do it all, you know. I've personally, as a film guy, I kind of like it when people cast an actor and don't have them be their usual self. Because, like, for me, it's really annoying watching an actor be the same person across the board. I'm going to say an actor, and that doesn't matter. You can't do that on me. I will say, though, like, the martial artists, like, Jackie Chan is another one that you kind of always have to have Jackie Chan doing Jackie Chan things. Because you know it's going to be a great time. But I don't like Ryan Gosling, because he's the same character every time. And in the movies that I've seen him in, he's always the same guy. And in the new movie that he's going to be in, Hail Mary, he looks like the same guy, but if you changed his vocation each time. But he's the same dude. So it's like, you know what I mean? It's the same guy. So I'm like, I'm not particularly impressed with his acting. He's not that interesting. And I've heard he might not be the greatest guy on set as well, which is always a downer. So that's kind of why I'm not a huge fan of the guy. To be frank, I'm going to assume, I think it's actually a very strong point for the Star Wars movies because it was not ultra campy. Yeah. Okay, my professor was using the term campy. I don't really know what he means by campy because campy to me is there are so many different things that it could mean. My best bet is campy is like campfire or campground, so something very I don't even know, but like I don't fully understand what campy means because then my other campy is from Super Smash Bros. If somebody's camping, they're like at the other end of the stage shooting you with projectiles. Like that to me is what I think when people say campy. It's a campy playstyle. So I don't know what it means in terms of movie. The irony about me, I may be a film guy, but I'm not a film buff. Like I don't really dive into films very often. Which is kind of funny. Like, I don't actually like watching movies that much, because too many times do the movies suck, and I feel like I wasted my time watching it. And I would have preferred if I didn't watch it. And that tends to be the trap that I fall in. I think I'm going to just dig for a little while and then end stream there. Bulky, low budget, quirky, somewhat intentionally unserious. Oh, okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. Over the top in many cases. Gotcha. So grade B. I think I know that more as like grade B movies. Which there are some. Okay, you want to know a really good grade B movie? Dudes and Dragons, okay? The only issue with that movie is they never said the word dude. The only problem with it. Other than that, great movie. Grade B all the way. They know they're grade B. But it is an amazing, it was a good time. Deliberate affection of exaggeration of style, especially popular or outdated style for ironic or humorous effect. That's from the Free Dictionary. Oh, okay. I see now. That makes sense. Yeah. I think I may actually like that style of movies, because I always, anytime it comes to watching a movie, usually what I'm always in the mood for, like I could watch any movie in this category, is like comedic or action based, or both, you know what I mean? Oh, I didn't see Knight said yes over the top. Gotcha. That tends to be the movies I'm always in the mood for, unless it's just really entertaining and it's more of a drama movie. Because there are certainly, more dramatic movies that I've watched. My fourth favorite movie, I think it's fourth now, is A Silent Voice. That's not a comedy at all. It's a very dramatic movie. very good as well. It is an anime movie, but very good. I highly recommend watching it. If you're afraid of the fan service, it ain't there. So it's a clean movie to watch. Highly recommend it. A Silent Voice if you haven't already watched it. Very good. And it was fun to have a serious Star Wars movie, you know, except for the Hold On Ian thing. Gotcha. But I have heard of it, but I haven't watched it. Would highly recommend. Very good. Another movie that's very good is K-Pop Demon Hunters. That is an excellent movie. That rose the ranks and is now my number 2 favorite movie. Amazing movie. It does biblical themes very well. It's the exact kind of movie that I want to make. Like, you know, it's got the fun action adventure, comedic, but also has the biblical undertones. I'm now gonna have that playing in your head. Dude, I had somebody send me a YouTube short of a parody of the song, and now the song's stuck in my head. And now I've been singing different songs throughout the week. And of course, since I'm stuck inside all day, like there's only so many things I can think about in the day. So yeah, it is so great. It's such amazing movie. Chef's kiss to that. It's just you forget that humanity is capable of making a good movie. You know what I mean? It just shows that like we can make good entertainment. We're just not trying very hard because we care more about the money than we do about entertaining. I don't. I care more about it being entertaining. I want it to look good. I want it to feel good. You know what I mean? I want people to have a good time watching my movies. I don't care about the money. If that means I have to take budget cuts so we can get the production value for the movie so that way it comes out good, then I'll do it. You know what I mean? I'll do that. I'll wear as many hats as I need to. That's just, you know what I mean? Just to make sure that it could be at a good quality. Because I prefer quality over quantity, and I'd hope to make a production company that's their motto: quality over quantity. We want to make good quality movies that, you know what I mean? Basically, it's much better for me to make a movie every 5 years, but that movie makes billions of dollars each time. And if we do that, okay, maybe that's a little bit crazy. 5 years is a long time to make a movie. I was mainly thinking of like Avatar, because those movies, I believe all 3 of them have grossed over $1 billion. And those, at least 1 and 2, were really well made. I want to watch 3, but I'm waiting for it to be available to me in a good quality. Caring more about money is why we have endless sequels. Exactly. Caring about money is what gets you Star Wars after the first 3. Or it gets you The Hobbit, you know what I mean? Like, that's what money gets you. You have something really great. You have a really unique idea, which I guess for Star Wars, really unique idea. For Lord of the Rings, really unique and huge IP. And this IP is intellectual property. And then you just throw it away. And then you have things like Rings of Power, where you spend $2 billion for the IP, only to make crap out of it. Because you know people are going to watch it, because Lord of the Rings is tagged on it. I mean, there's such a balance to be struck there. It's so easy to go over budget. And I know. Now that I'm in film, I know how easy it is to go over budget. Not that I've had to work on anything that has a budget. Well, not yet. I'm currently being trained to work on a movie that has a budget. But now that I've learned about behind the scenes of film sets, like, I could see how easy it is to go over budget. But that's what I was saying about, like, I'd be willing to take the pay cut if that happens, to make sure that the movie gets made to the fullest extent. Because things like, one of the things, visual effects, is always where it gets the pay cut, and then it ends up being bad. All the hard work and amazing cinematic effects from Lord of the Rings thrown right at the window for bad CGI and slapstick humor. Exactly. Though I will say, I do think the Hobbit movies as movies themselves aren't bad movies. They're just bad adaptations. And that's one thing, taking a film adaptation intensive. You learn that there's a lot of movies out there that are great movies, just terrible adaptations, which make them bad. For example, we got Maze Runner. Terrible adaptation. My least favorite adaptation. The movies, they're not that bad. They're good movies. They're just bad adaptations. Percy Jackson, bad adaptation. Good movie. And then there are other ones. My favorite movie is an adaptation. I've never read the book, and in fact, I didn't know it was a book for the longest time. Ready Player One. My favorite movie. I absolutely love that movie. Will I ever read the book? No, I don't really care to. I don't like reading, which is why I'm a movie guy, and film, and watching things. I like visual entertainment. Mainly because I'm one of those people that can't visualize when I read. I just see words. So if the words aren't interesting, I'm not going to read it. But yeah, learning about that is pretty cool. Like, there's a lot of adaptation. Aragorn, bad movie, bad adaptation. I disagree, because once again, I didn't know Aragorn was a adaptation. I enjoyed the movie. I thought it was a good movie. Like, that's a movie I would watch again. Oh man, this is, okay, who knew this was going to be the thing that stirs the pot? I like that movie. As I said, I would watch it again. It was fun. Granted, I love dragons, so you kind of had me at dragon. Did you know How to Train Your Dragon is an adaptation? And it's nothing like the book, but the author of the book said, yeah, the movies did it better than I did. But How to Train Your Dragon is an adaptation. Crazy. The plot was super rushed, though. But when you don't realize that there was an adaptation to it, and it's just a, like, if you look at it face value just as a movie, it was an entertaining movie. I felt like it was fine. Granted, I prefer faster paced anyways, so it probably hit that sweet spot for me of being a fast paced movie, and I didn't necessarily notice. But granted, I have not. See, we could talk about Wicked if you want to if you want to pot stir. Oh, okay, I see what you're saying now. How to Train Your good movie and good adaptation. Exactly. Good everything. Which makes the sequels to How to Train Your Dragon make more sense why they exist if it's from a 9-part series adaptation. Now I understand why there were 2 movies made after the fact. I thought they were just going for the money. They were, but there may have been a little bit more there. The play is great, but a bad adaptation. Wait, there's a play of Wicked, or I'm assuming you're talking about Wicked, because I don't think How to Train Your Dragon was a play, but I could be wrong. I haven't seen Wicked, and I have no interest in it whatsoever. Okay, talk about the secret messaging that movies give. How many TV shows and movies have we had in the past 10 years that make villains the heroes of the story? Like, just think about that. Wicked is a great example of that. Cruella, another great example. For goodness sakes, Lucifer. They made the devil himself the good guy for TV. And they're still doing that with other things. The Joker. You know, they're trying to make us, and maybe not necessarily, like, the Joker's still the villain of the story. He's not a good guy, but now we sympathize with him. Originally, he was written in the Christian Bale movies to be absolutely insane. And now we sympathize with him now that we know his backstory, now that we know how we get there. I mean, the bad guys, ironically, also. But actually, I'd argue that the bad guys is a better, like, a good redemption arc story, where it's like, yeah, they were the bad guys, but now they're going into the redemption arc. I'm for that, because that's second chances. That is a more biblical thing of, like, yeah, we do get a second chance. I think that's good. But the issue is they're basically just saying, like, they're making us sympathize with the villain and then heroifying the villain. And so it's just kind of, how many times are we going to make the villains of the stories the good guys and people to root for? It's kind of crazy. The subliminal messaging right there, dude. The musical is much better than the adaptation of the book. I have beef with the movie, but that's from a vocalist perspective. Redemption arc equals good. Bad guys is good guy equals bad. Exactly. It's just, this is not great. Oh great, now we've got more guys spamming my chat. Now I can't read the latest messages, dude. Are you kidding me? For goodness sakes, dude. I'm trying to read chat here. But it is crazy when you look at movies these days. Actually kind of crazy. Movies and TV shows. I know. I'm honestly missing our simple stories. Like, I want a simple story. I feel like we're chasing after uniqueness when unfortunately there just isn't any left. I feel like having that unique idea is so rare to find, because at the end of it, I mean, you have the hero's journey, because movies follow that so often. You have things like the Save the Cat beat sheet, because movies follow that format so often that it's very difficult to get unique IPs and stuff like that. That it's like, at this point, you know, it is what it is. Just make a good story, you know? Just like write something that, just write a simple hero wins the day kind of story, and everyone's happy. Let's go ahead and swap pickaxes. Probably be good. Now I need to go back into the history behind Wizard of Oz to see who the Wicked Witch represented. So Wicked is a derivation of the story that's an allegory. Yes. That's got complicated. Exactly. Yeah, it is crazy. Who knows? Maybe the next thing is going to be the White Witch from Narnia, and it's going to be a solo movie about her. And either us sympathizing with her or her not being a bad guy, even though she's literally an allegory for Satan himself. Yep, let's just keep putting him on a pedestal there. Lucifer from the TV is just based on Sandman Lucifer. That's part of Constantine's universe. Okay, that makes me feel a little bit better, but still. I'm not happy with it. The name alone, though, actually, funny thing about the name Lucifer, it's not mentioned in the Bible at all. We got that from other sources, I guess. So that's kind of a fun fact. Lucifer is not mentioned in the Bible. He's only mentioned as Satan or the devil. Fun facts. Bam. Movies these days, man. I tell you, I'm hoping when we get out there, we as in all the people in this film program, when we get out there, for any of us who make it, we do something, we do crazy things. That'd be exciting. Go out there and make a movie, and put God at the forefront of it, and no one even knows. I would rather see a great movie that follows a cookie-cutter pattern than a bad movie that is unique. Exactly, you know? That's why I really like Demon Slayer anime. Because it's a very cookie-cutter anime. Like, very simple good versus evil plotline, you know? Very, very cliche stuff. But it's so beautifully drawn that it's like, oh, man. They put all of their stock into the art of the actual anime itself and the animation. I'm like, it's worth it. Like, it's a good anime. I recommend that one as well. Attack on Titan is a really good one as well. That one has a unique storyline, like truly unique. It's wacky, but it's unique and good. One of the very few rare ones, you know? Mixed on this one, but I kind of would as well. But I also value the bad unique movie for trying something. Yeah, like I think it's good to have people trying stuff. The worst is when a unique idea comes about and then you have 5 to 10 movies about that unique idea because everyone wants to do it. Like, how many Frankenstein adaptations have we had? So many. I forgot there was an IP that had the most adaptations, and I can't remember what it was. I'm trying to remember. But it was crazy. It wasn't Frankenstein, but there's a lot of those. There's a lot of Pinocchios as well. Like, we have a lot of stuff. A lot of these things, man. It's a crazy world out there, man. Being an entertainer. Because at this point, entertainer is also propaganda. It's all very political at times. Because you're feeding the world the worldview you want them to eat. And sometimes companies focus on that rather than the movie itself. And that's where you get a lot of problems. I need more space to explain, but I agree with you while not changing my original statement. No, I think both statements can be true. I agree with both statements. Like, it's good to see a unique movie being unique, because then you get that new idea out there, and maybe somebody else will be inspired from that and make their own take, basically their own take on the idea. And you can get some pretty cool stuff from that. Ooh. So yeah, there are also movies that try to be badly unique, but those are awful. Yeah, because it's so much like and I even fall into this trap of like every director wants to be that director that breaks into something that has movies that mean something. Granted, I'm more like I just want to make movies that are entertaining, but I'm struggling with my thesis film, short film right now, because I'm like, I want it to mean something, so I changed it from its original just kind of a fun story, simple story, to something. I've changed it 5 times now, and now I'm like, okay, I need to not change it again, so how can I make what I have now not necessarily mean something, like kind of ignoring that, like what can I do to it to make it better? And I'm struggling right now, because obviously thesis season is next semester, so I kind of need a finished script by the summer at least. Hopefully sooner, so that way pre-production for stuff can happen, but it's gonna be rough, because I'd hate to get stuck where like I just never get that eureka moment and figure out exactly what it needs to be, and then get trapped, you know? It's gonna be rough. That's gonna be rough. But hey, we'll see. I have little ideas here and there, but I need to make them bigger ideas. You're just kind of waiting until I think of something that ties it all together, that one makes the story unique. Because now I think that would be interesting is rather than, as I said with like Demon Slayer, it's a cookie cutter story, but its visual animation is beautiful. So I'm like, now we should be having these cookie cutter stories, but changing things like visually. How can we change the story and alter it? How can we show this differently? What visual techniques can we use? What lighting techniques can we use? All of that kind of stuff should be at the forefront now. Making simple stories, but we do things like that. So now I'm trying to think, okay, maybe I alter it and try to use these kind of things to kind of better the story. We'll see. We'll see. I'm getting close to almost getting this chunk done. It's kind of nice. H2 is nice. It's not Instamine yet, but it is a little faster, so that's kind of nice. So, my thesis is basically about a guy that lives a very routine life. As of right now, the kind of story plots is it sets up his routine life, and then he enters into a daydream where his girl asks him out, and then it's following their storyline together, and then of course it's revealed once again that he was in a daydream, and then at the end of it he sees one of his classmates walk into the class, and then he stands up to do something, and that's kind of where it's at right now. And so originally I didn't have the stand-up part at the end, and one of the comments that I got was this story doesn't necessarily need to exist because there's no character development, which originally that was what I was planning. I wasn't planning on having the character develop at all, but it doesn't make for a good story. And the big thing is it's based on myself, right? So that's probably why it's a lot harder to find a story within it. And I'm trying to find a story within my own life and kind of how I live life and trying to show that. So I'm kind of like torn between how do I make that more interesting, because I did not like the 2 stories that came, basically scripts 1 and 2 I didn't like, because one, I wasn't writing what I knew was one of the reasons why those kind of fell off, because I didn't know what I was like, I didn't understand this, so it made it difficult to actually write it in a way that would make sense, that it would exist the way that it is, because I've never written anything like that before, or I've never experienced anything like that, so I didn't know like how to write it, and so I'm like, well, those don't work. And I mean, for the most part, all stories you write, you've never actually been a part of, but I wanted to write something more closer to home, and so that's why I decided to change and write more about literally myself as the main character. But 2 of those stories had unique parts about them, but I was focusing on the wrong parts of my life, so I said I'm going to change and focus on a different part, which is where we're at now. but now I don't know what to do with it. And I'm not like, I like the idea of where it's at right now, but it's more of an outline than anything. Like, it's a fully written script. Like, I could direct it and it'd be fine. But I know it doesn't have that, like, there is no reason for it to exist. Like, I'll make it, but it doesn't mean anything right now. Not in a negative way. Just story-wise, it just, there's nothing going on, and I need to have that something to make it matter. I need a better reason for you to want to follow the character, because it's not like it's a dislikable character. I have his save the cat moment, but there's no reason for us to follow him in the first place and want to watch. You're like, okay, cool, I watched all that, now I know about the way this guy lives his life, but what do I get out of it? And that's where I'm struggling. I don't know what the viewer, what the audience is going to get from watching this. I don't have that moment in there. What's known as the whammo moment. And I don't really know what to do for that. Because the other thing is I'm also trying to keep it realistic in the sense of like what's actually happening. Because if I stray too far from that, you know, then it's not necessarily what I'm envisioning. So like it's a very thin line that I'm trying to walk right now. I'm just trying to figure out what the best way to go about it. Because I was like, okay, here's an interesting idea. What if I did it from the perspective of a demon? Kind of like Screwtape Letter style. Because somebody was writing an adaptation for that in my film adaptation class. Not adaptation. They were writing an adaptation of the Screwtape Letters. And a lot of the stuff they had in there, I'm like, oh, I really like the way they're doing that. I'm like, maybe I'll nab some of those ideas. And so it starts off like the first day that you're following this guy and watching him, it starts off as like a narration from the demon's perspective. He's like, I'm trying to tear this guy down, but it's not working. Well, correction, it is working, but he keeps getting back up over and over and over again. No matter how many times I tear this guy down, he will not stop getting back up and running to God. And I don't know what to do. And like go from that perspective. And I thought that would be kind of a unique idea of like, what if it was more like with the audience, we're also watching from the demon's perspective of him watching this guy and trying his hardest to get him to go away from God, but failing miserably. Or, well, once again, like succeeding but failing, you know what I mean? Like I'm winning, but yet I'm losing is kind of the vibes. I'm like, that would be interesting, but I'm trying to figure out exactly how that would work story-wise and how exactly that character would fit in other than being a spectator, like the audience. And so like, and then you'd be able to, and then showing more of like the evidences of the demon doing his thing. And like, here, I'm gonna throw this curveball at you. Try to deal with that. Aha, you fell into my trap. And it didn't actually do anything to your mentality at all, and you're just moving on. What am I supposed to do with that? And like, kind of attacking it from that. I think that could be like a unique perspective to add to a story. Is like, as I said, really Screwtape lettering it. I think could be kind of cool. And for a short film, that I think would work well. But I'm still trying to figure out how exactly would that look. How would it write? That's a weird way to Englishify that, but like, how would it write itself out? It's kind of like where I'm trying to think of like, how would this logically work? I don't know. It's kind of like I haven't gotten past that point, and I'm like, I really like the daydream sequence. When we were reading that, we as in the people in a different, you know, in one of my classes, when we were reading it to like go over it and give feedback, people were laughing and hoot and holler reading through my script and reading through the daydream sequence, which is good. Not necessarily that it's meant to be a comedy, but it wasn't meant to be sad by any means. And that was one of the things I do need to fix about it, is I need to make it less sad, because I don't want to feel that way, which is where like the demon's perspective comes in, where it's like I kind of want one of those underlying tones being, by all means, this guy should be depressed with his current living situation, but he's not. So I guess I could attack it from, maybe that's what the theme should be. Kind of like, even though the demons are attacking you and tearing you down, you can still get back up again and move on. But it's trying to figure out exactly like, how would that look? And then would I, you know, in previous scripts for my thesis, I had my main character and the demon more talking to each other, and you'd get cool reflection shots and all that kind of stuff. I think that could be kind of cool, but I don't feel like it fits with the current tone of this script, so I don't think that would work out very well. So it's like kind of just figuring out that kind of stuff. Gonna be interesting. Ooh, I just thought of an idea. So, mirror shot. But what if instead of the demon being the one in the mirror, what if it was the other way around? And then you watch the guy, like, you would think he's gonna have this, like, depresso breakdown moment in the bathroom, and the demon's gonna be laughing, like, watching. But instead, he just kind of walks out, and is like, okay. You know what I mean? Maybe we see him have a rough day. He walks out, and the demon, like, as the main character, like, looks like the main character, like, literally watches him go out and turns to watch him go out, but you're seeing the guy move in the mirror out the door, but the demon is in the real world turning kind of thing, and it's essentially like kind of something like that. That would be a cool visual thing. Like, interesting. I just threw this depression ball at this guy's head so I could get in his head. It didn't work. It didn't work at all. Yeah, I may, because maybe I do want to lean more into the Screwtape Letters and use that as a point of inspiration. I feel kind of bad because I feel like I'm stealing it from that other person who was already writing an adaptation for Screwtape Letters, because I'm really inspired by what they did. I really like their take on the idea. So ooh, look at that. Oh, that's so beautiful. That's amazing, dude. Oh, okay, let's finish this out. So I'm like, I kind of want to run into that person again, so I could be like, hey, would it be alright if I nabbed some of your ideas from your Screwtape Letter adaptation for my thesis? Because I think I kind of like the idea of, like, okay, well, the demon is then talking, you know, writing his letters, and it's a voiceover of him writing the letters to somebody else of his struggles, of being like, I'm trying, bro. I'm trying to get this guy to die inside, and it's not working, and I don't know what to do. And then maybe those, like, maybe we do show the minor victories, because that's one of the things I like about the Screwtape Letters is it's, yeah, there's all of the really bad stuff that you expect, but then there's also the little stuff like, I'm gonna make him hungry, so he stops thinking about all of this other stuff. You know what I mean? And doing something like that could be kind of fun and interesting. So, like, there's possibilities here. We've got options. I like that idea. I wanna kind of figure that out. I need to figure out how that works. 'Cause I'm thinking maybe the daydream sequence is kind of the demon's last hurrah. So we see 3 days of the demon trying everything. And so he last hurrahs, like, this is gonna get him into such a depressive funk, because I'm gonna make him so sad and depressed about his current life. This better work. And then it doesn't. And he wakes up the next day, the main character wakes up and goes about his normal routine like he has the 3 days we've seen prior of the demon's attempts, and it's as if the demon wasn't even there. And then, but what if I had, like, we had a very specific thing that would, like, a visual key that would reference the demon. You know what I mean? And so maybe there's a scene, like, right at the end, instead of the stand-up scene, there's a scene right at the end where the main character kind of looks off, or, you know, looks at the direction of the whatever it is that refers to the demon. For me, it's always been the corner of a room, has always been that, like, spot. So I'm wondering if that's kind of the thing. Maybe we end it back at night, and it's just one of those things where, like, even still, like, our main character looks off at the corner, very clearly looking and being like, I know you're still there, but I just don't care. You know, that kind of a moment of, like, yeah, you keep trying, but I got God fighting for me. So, like, try harder, I guess. I don't know. You're not gonna win this battle, because it's already been won. You're fighting a losing battle. That kind of hurrah moment could be very interesting. So, yeah, I kind of like that idea. It's going to require probably a little bit of a rewrite, but not like a heavy rewrite. It's going to be more like I'm on script 5, like a 5.5, because a lot of it's going to probably change. But locations-wise, luckily for my producer, locations and actors and stuff like that is roughly going to stay the same, which is going to be really nice because it's going to be the same locations and the actors are going to be the same. As I said, I probably would have the demon played by the main character, either that or another character, but I could also have the demon still be the main actor kind of thing, especially with the mirror scene. It would make sense, but have the voiceover done by a different person and just never see the guy speak. It's only voiceover. Could kind of fix that problem. That could be good. Interesting, yeah. So there I got options. It's kind of cool. We're gonna start from this side. Oh, look at this. Oh, I've been digging this chunk for so long. And now it's gone. Just shredding this chunk, dude. And there's glass here, so if you do fall in by accident, you probably will die. Oh, I was so close. But you won't lose your items. They'll just splat. Oh, gamma was off. Wow. The end blasts really light the place up. I do say. They really do light the place up. It's kind of crazy. But I will say, editing this might be a fun challenge, like a good kind of challenge. Because of... I don't like the way that looks. There we go. Thank you very much. Because of the way that, like, the pieces and parts would move around. Oh, look at that. Look at that, dude. You walk up here, nothing. Just nothing right there, dude. Now I gotta find a new chunk and start digging that out. What chunk should I start next? I feel like doing one of these, like, outer skirts ones, like right over here or something like that. Could be kind of fun, like if I did one of these. I'm planning on digging out chunks randomly, so it looks like there's chunk errors. Which is why I started with this one here. Mainly so when you came in, you'd see this, which ironically makes it very difficult to get to this. But I need to remake this anyways. Though with the end island gone, it doesn't need to be as far, so there's a possibility where we could literally have it right there. Because this is lit up, so Endermen aren't going to spawn on that. They can't spawn on the rings at all. They're completely lit up. Meaning that if we had it, like, literally right here, we'd be fine. Heck, we could even have it, like... The problem is obviously having it lower is better rates. So that is a thing. But it wouldn't need to be as far. So I could do a bubble vader to go up and down, but I don't know how good that would look. And the only problem with me always carrying a bed on me is I end up getting spawned all the way over here. But yeah. Whoa, we got later than I thought. Okay, this is always my issue, right? I always hit 3 o'clock. That's when I like to normally get a snack. But unfortunately, it's 3:46, so I can't anymore, because now it's too close to... But it is what it is. Oh, that is my portal. Alright, well... That was a good stream. Let's see. I will probably be live. Probably next... That's actually an interesting question. Because I'm mainly able to be live because of the snow. But... come next week... I don't know when... Well, I guess I might be streaming more in the afternoons than anything else. Because I have more time in the afternoons than I do in the night. Because I could see Monday afternoon. I don't have any classes there that I know of right now. Thursdays are when my classes are. So, and then I have trainings Tuesday morning and Friday mornings. Those in the morning. So pretty chill. All right, well, that's gonna do it for today. Let's see if anyone's live. And I gotta not forget that I'm logged into Minecraft. Got quite a lot of people live. Okay. So I've got 2 people playing Enshrouded right now. Or not Enshrouded, Hytale, jeez Louise. You looking for anything in particular? No, if you've got a suggestion for someone, because right now the two guys I would normally raid are both playing Hytale, so preferably somebody playing Minecraft. And then the other 2 that are playing Minecraft are much bigger content creators. So I always prefer to raid smaller content creators. Lunethist. Okay, let's put that in there. Lune. Spell that. Lunethist. Sure. I will say, personal thing, I really don't like VTubers. Not like the people, but I just like the general vibe of that. That's the only thing that's like, but I can still raid at least. / raid. You can just, fat fingered. Do that. Also, there's way too much happening on screen right now, but it's fine. Let's do wolf pack. I never remember what I do for my stream message. Raid Dugwo High. Dugwo Heart. Perfect. Let's make it make sound. Raid now. Head on over. Boom.